What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh wait, I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we built Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know this in crypto. Ownership matters. That's why Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet gives you full control of your digital assets, all in one easy-to-use application. You can store Bitcoin, Litecoin, Zcash, Monero, and many more with just one secure backup. Swap between coins in seconds. No copying addresses, no complicated steps, and even includes Bitcoin Lightning for faster payments. And with Cake Wallet built in, you can use crypto in real life through debit cards or gift cards. Simple, secure, self-custody. Download Cake Wallet and take control of your crypto. Welcome to the breakdown. I'm still muted. For some reason I was muted. Okay. I'm running late. It's on me. It's not Landy today, but let's bring Landy right in because we got a schedule. We got Landy here for 10 minutes. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's talk about what's happening here with Bitcoin. There's a lot of things to touch on. What's going on, Landy?
How you doing, brother?
Well, to get right into, I'm doing good. I can be better. I'm doing good. I'm fucking fighting whatever this shit is that you gave me in fucking upstate New York / Canada. Fighting it. I'm fighting it.
It's winning. It's going to take over. Before you know it, you'll be Canadian. I'm sorry. My heart goes out to you. But you're going to have to move to Canada now.
Kiss my ass. All right, listen. All right. Cold
card.
Cold card. Let's start off with that. I've been reading the timeline. I see that there are spaces open on X. By the way, thank you everybody for tuning in on TikTok and wherever you're coming from. But spaces on X, they've been holding spaces nonstop talking about Bitcoin and this situation. now, and it's now seeped to looking at Treasure and Ledger,
Ledger,
all cold
Treasure,
wallets.
everybody. Yeah.
Everybody, like now it's like,
The race is on.
I don't want to say this is like FUD. I think
It
this
is.
is reality. This is like people are now worried. Like, is it even safe to hold it on these
Oh.
cold wallets? Because it
Yeah,
is it really fucking safe? And they got a point. Like Landy, I've been listening. They have a fucking point. Like,
Okay,
is it safe?
but this is a conversation that we've been having since the beginning, since really since Ledger kicked off the productization of cold storage, right? Like when I think of who was like the big entrant, because there was cold storage solutions before, but like Ledger really, they came out with a killer product that a lot of people adopted, right? Like there's a lot of people that didn't even know the difference between, they thought like, oh, I need a ledger. They didn't know like, oh no, there's other cold storage. You can like do software cold storage. Like you could run your own node. There's all kinds of different things that you could do. You could use Sparrow Wallet. There's a million different ways you could go, but the accessibility and the ease of just buying a device that walks you through creating wallets and then, allowing for that extra security for that cold storage, it's not a hot wallet kind of thing. Um, it took off.
Yeah.
But this is cold storage devices have been a bumpy ride for a long time. This is not anything unexpected or new. I think the reason why this hits home with a lot of folks is there was a lot of Bitcoin maxis, a lot of not your keys, not your coin, get your crypto off exchanges, no to custodians and be your own bank people who were very hardcore that were very heavy into promoting cold card.
Yeah.
And there was, an entropy issue, and it's a software issue. It's not inherently a hardware issue, although it's the way that the software implementation and use of that hardware, um, is or how that hardware is being used by that software, and then some of the fail states built into that software. And look, there is, I believe now, security experts have ripped the entire cold card line apart and found that that vulnerability existed and has existed and persisted for quite some time through the entire device line, which is, it's unfortunate when a vendor has an issue like that, especially when there was a lot of very prominent figures in Bitcoin that were attached to that, right?
Yeah.
But this is not new, and in fact, a very similar situation right as we were coming out of the bear market last cycle in 2022 into 2023. We had a very similar situation, not with a hardware wallet. So again, a little bit of a difference. It was a hot wallet, and it was Trust Wallet, and it was the implementation of the actual software creating the wallets. Look,
Yeah.
this is not a problem with Bitcoin. It could have been any hardware wallet, but because Bitcoiners are the not your keys, not your coin crowd, and the cold storage maxis, and hold your be your own bank and all of these other things, it's an optics issue right now. And this is one of the big things. He's making a big deal about the number as if this is like the worst cold storage issue. And maybe if you were to compare apples to apples with other cold storage hardware vendors, maybe this is the most amount of Bitcoin that's been lost thus far. But they're equating that now with price action, and people are scared, so everybody's selling, and it's like, well, that doesn't really have any Bitcoin, on a typical day does about $16 billion in trade volume. This was, it's up to like maybe 88 to 90 million at this point. Maybe that number has continued to go up. There are people monitoring the situation at the moment. Could be over 100 million. It's a not insignificant amount of money. It's terrible for the people that are losing their Bitcoin. But this doesn't fundamentally change anything about Bitcoin. Doesn't really change that you should be, if you are going to take on being your own bank and managing your own keys, and you're entrusting a very crucial process to a vendor, you should understand how that vendor is making, the implementation of the creation of those wallets, right? And it's really the lowest hanging fruit of the implementation for key generation that is getting attacked. There are other ways in which you could do key generation there on those hardware devices that allowed for a higher security state of those keys and more randomization and higher entropy. But unfortunately, that's not what a lot of people apparently were doing when they were using that particular device. So
The whole thing is that here's my take. You had a bunch of people that trusted this hardware. Okay,
mhm.
let's call it for what it is. People trusted this because people were pushed into this, right?
But don't trust anybody, people trusted somebody.
It doesn't matter. Like, hey, Bitcoin, this is what you need to use. Like, this is what's been pushed, and people went into it, and they did the right thing. The problem here's my biggest problem. People did the right thing, and they got fucked for it.
If you
That
don't take the responsibility of
no,
having
hold on,
a
Landy,
hardened
no,
key.
Landy, you're not hearing me.
I am hearing you.
I come into crypto, I buy Bitcoin, I go into this wallet.
No,
I've
I
done
have no
everything
sympathy.
possible. I've did everything possible to go ahead and secure my Bitcoin, secure my whatever, man. The
Really,
lingo.
then if you did everything possible, then you wouldn't be using, you would not be using that particular
It doesn't
key
matter. Let's
generation
say I
method.
went into,
You
but I
do
went
the
into a
research.
let's say I went into, I'm new. I went into a room, a space, a
You were
clubhouse.
sold a product.
Yes, but there's a bunch of maxis that are saying, yeah, this is good. This is good. Don't worry about it. But I'm doing everything at cold storage. I'm doing everything as it is stated to go ahead and do. And then I wake up and it's gone.
It's a don't trust, verify. Look,
Yeah,
here's
but
the
you
thing
can't
is
wag the
any
finger at the people,
institutional
though.
custodians aren't using cold cards, right? Like, no, if you are going to hold it, and especially if you have any large amount of money, you don't keep a ton on any one hardware device if you're going to use hardware devices. And two, you can make your own hardware devices. You don't need to buy them from a vendor.
Landy, just understand. I get what you're saying. Like, I totally, I understand what you're saying. New people come into this space, they're buying Bitcoin, and then they use the products that are available, correct?
Yeah, but this
There are
is a
competitors
small
everywhere. Everybody's
vendor.
when it comes to, we can say vendors, but we can also say when you walk into Best Buy, they got Sony, they got LG,
Sure.
they
Yeah,
got
I agree.
Samsung, right?
Yeah.
These things are supposed to work, right? Your televisions are supposed to. I'm just saying these
They have
products are
problems
supposed
all
to
the
work,
time. And
I
they have
get it.
problems all the time.
and they upgrade, right?
Mhm.
Sony and Samsung and LG, they tell you, hey, there's an upgrade available, right? And it
Yeah.
upgrades whatever. Now, obviously, with the tech, it
Firmware,
upgrades.
model line. Yeah. No, I get it. Look,
But
I'm not missing your
But it's
point.
no, but I'm saying it's the same situation here. You might not like this, right? You might not like that particular brand, but they offer the same thing as this brand and that brand. That
I
brand
get it.
is supposed to make sure that the upkeep is always there.
I agree. I don't disagree. What I
So what hap
disagree with
so what
is
happens with
that
the
this is
people?
somehow any different than any other time that this has happened
Okay.
in the past.
You know what? Why don't you come back onto the show at, like, 1:45 because we can really go ahead and,
Yeah.
like, dive,
I would like
like,
to break
really,
it down. Yeah.
because, like, honestly, there's no insurance here,
I
okay?
know. Yeah, this is the stuff I want to talk about with you right here. The no
No, but
insurance,
but
the be your
my
own
my but
bank.
I'm
Yeah.
all I'm saying is the new people, I don't give a fuck about the hardware companies, okay? They make money. I'm talking about people. How am I supposed to invite people if I do grassroots marketing, right, Landy? And I'm
Mhm.
out there and I'm preaching Bitcoin, 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 not your keys, not your crypto. Make sure you get physical crypto, right? Physical Bitcoin
Yes.
to be exact. Don't get an ETF. No, get physical Bitcoin.
Mhm.
Own it. Have your keys. Put it on a cold storage wall. And they do this. People do actually do this. And then they
I
wake
agree.
up one morning and they're fucked. You can you imagine? Like, hey, my whole principle is I did everything right. Like I went and I listened and I went to spaces and I listened and I put this shit on a cold wallet and now it's gone. Like I had some guy from Canada, I forgot his name, $1.6 million in Bitcoin,
Yes.
gone. You know, like he didn't do anything wrong. He did everything by the book. And now it's gone. Like, you know how we joke around, hey, I lost my Bitcoin in a goddamn skiing accident or a jet skiing accident.
Yeah, no, I know.
This
Or
dude
boating
randomly
accident,
wakes up one morning and he's cooked. You imagine you've spent your whole time here holding, diamond handing, and 1.6 million is just taken from you, man. All I'm saying is that this is why people will move into ETFs and get away from shit like this. And that's a problem. That is a huge problem. Well, I'll bring you back. We can have this argument. I know you would.
I'll be
You want to
hanging
say
out.
a lot, and I want to say a lot, and it's a good debate.
I think that it is a good debate. Yeah.
We'll see Landy back here at 1:45, so we can go ahead and get more into this topic. I'm just a little bit pissed off from the fact that obviously, like I'm on here every day. You are too. We're preaching about how great crypto is, how Bitcoin is great, how you should have it, how you should own it, and this kind of shit happens, and then motherfuckers are just like, "Oops, I'm sorry." Well, you know, sorry is not good enough for the people that actually went and bought every single week. You know what I'm talking about? Like
Yes.
they did the right. They did the right thing. It's the first time we can't blame
They're
the
learning.
crowd.
They did the things they took all the steps that they were told to take. And they
You know how
lost
we're
it
always
anyway.
blaming
I get
Landy.
it.
You
Yeah.
know how we're always blaming like the
100%.
crowd for like the nonsense. Well, this time you can't blame the crowd. Like the people that tried
Yeah.
and did it right, they're not at fault now. Like it's now the companies, and they
I
need to do
agree.
something.
I agree. I was talking to Gary a little bit about this yesterday, but I wanna continue this conversation.
go
I know
ahead.
you got some other folks that are coming on,
Yeah.
so I'll hang out in the green
Yeah,
room.
hang out, and we'll go ahead and get right into this. We'll be right back after this commercial break. We'll be on here with Ian, and then we have Deployer coming in 1:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Commercial break midnight.
What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh, wait. I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we build Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know this in crypto. Ownership matters. That's why Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet gives you full control of your digital assets, all in one easy-to-use application. You can store Bitcoin, Litecoin, Zcash, Monero, and many more with just one secure backup. Swap between coins in seconds. No copying addresses, no complicated steps, and even includes Bitcoin Lightning for faster payments. And with Cake Wallet built in, you can use crypto in real life through debit cards or gift cards. Simple, secure, self-custody. Download Cake Wallet and take control of your crypto. Welcome back. Landy's still here. Let's get him out of here. We'll bring him back, though, on at 1:45. We're now joined by, I've been trying to get this guy. I wanted to get him on for a while. Talk some MMA, talk some markets here. Now he's on. Ian, what's going on, man?
David, what's up, bro? How you doing?
Nice to see you, man. I know we exchange, we chat on social media, but it's nice to have you on the show. How's everything on your side?
Yeah, it's been good, man. Yeah, we've been back and forth for a while now, right? I think it's our third cycle, and things are heating up in crypto, and I'm liking what I'm seeing. It's a lot of opportunity right now. A lot of people are making money.
Before we get into the markets, because I know you know about the markets, and we can chop it up. I want to ask you MMA. I want to ask you a few things about MMA. You watched the Conor fight. What did you think about the Conor versus Max Holloway? Obviously, it was like 2 seconds, but on his side, when you saw Conor coming into the arena, was he nervous? Did he look off?
Yeah, he looked off, and honestly, that was one of the fights where I was preaching, because Conor's like, I'm coming back. I'm retired. I'm coming back. This dude's almost a billionaire. So like, there's a saying, when you wake up with the silk sheets, it's not easy to hit those 5 a.m. runs. So for me, I didn't think he would make it to that fight, because at that point, when you're not fighting for money, you're sitting on your Lamborghini yacht. It's like, bro, really, you're going to go in and fight a killer like Max Holloway? So I was really surprised that he showed up. It takes a lot of balls on his side, and obviously it was ego driven, because he doesn't need it financially. But yeah, when he got in there, man, I think he just tried to do something crazy. I don't know if he had the injury before. The jump looked pretty legit when you saw the knee pop out. So I wouldn't say it was like already injured and he was just coming in to get a check. But yeah, dude, he definitely, like, give him Michael Chandler. Give him like a guy who's on a losing streak. You got the killer Max Holloway who slept Justin Gaethje, and they're throwing Conor, who hasn't won in 5 years and broke his leg, and I think it wasn't a good business decision on Conor, and it wasn't a good look. So he was very nervous, and it was very underwhelming fight to watch. I thought there would at least he was going to get beat, to be honest.
You thought 100% you had Max beating him?
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, there's something called ring rust. When you're outside the cage for so long, even though you've done it your whole life, it's like you feel those nerves again. When Max Holloway's fighting 2-3 times a year, it's just business as usual. You show up, you feel good, but he has to overcome all those nerves again, and all the media, all the spotlight on him. Obviously, he crushed it selling his whiskey, selling his cigars, and it made him a lot of money. But yeah, dude, he hasn't looked the same since Nate Diaz.
Do you think it's Nate Diaz that actually really took Conor's, I guess, should I say aura? Because I don't know if aura is the right word, but you think he took his soul away? Because I thought it was Khabib, really. What I kind of thought, Ian, I think when he went to fight Mayweather, how do you come back into MMA after making 100 million plus on that fight? Do you still have the same hunger? Like when you watch Conor and his during that stretch where you're just like, he looked unbeatable. He was hungry. Like I'm sure you understand that there's like some sort of hunger. His story talking about like he's on he's on welfare. He has his girl supporting him, and like he's out there and he's trying to survive. Yeah, 100 million plus and everything. You're not trying to survive anything. Like but I don't want to take it away from him. Like he's walking to the ring and just like, just seeking a payday. I just think that takes something away from you.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, look, can't take anything away from Conor. He raised the bar for paydays for fighters, for everything. He's a legend. He brought so many new eyes and new people to MMA and to the UFC. But yeah, I think there's like a tipping point in your career, right? We saw it happen with Israel Adesanya. Israel was 8-time UFC middleweight champion. And he kept losing to Alex Pereira. He lost to him twice in kickboxing, and then he lost in MMA. And he came back in that one fight, and he knocked him out in Miami. I was there live. And that was the moment where it's like, there's nothing else to accomplish in this sport. you're paid, you beat your nemesis that's haunted you your whole career, and you've won every belt. Like what else is there? There's no motivation at that point. It's just ego, and that's not enough. So yeah, it's tough, man. You make $100 million in a boxing fight. You know, Khabib definitely, you know, really took him out and brought down his confidence. But I think when he lost to Nate Diaz, you saw it even in the second fight. Like Nate came in and he kind of like looked away. When you lose that confidence and that aura and that hunger, it's just a disaster for a bunch of losses. And you know, like I said, he's probably close to $500 million. So it's not easy to stay motivated. Yeah, you can get motivated for a week, post on Instagram, train really hard. But then it's like, why am I doing this? I got to go fight this killer. My family's taken care of. We got money in the bank. I could travel. I could do all these things. And there's not that same hunger. That's why you see such impoverished, such minorities excel in boxing, excel in the UFC, because they have a hunger that other fighters just don't have.
All right. And that's you should be an analyst, man. You can break this shit down. Love that. Welcome to the breakdown, episode 760. Here with Ian. All right, let's talk markets. You look like you're bullish on Robinhood. Yes. I don't know. Read it from your recent social media posts. You look like you're super bullish on Robinhood and Robinhood's chain. Tell me why.
For many reasons, right? I mean, you remember, David, like when we were riding up those Ethereum meme coins, people were holding longer. Before Pump.Fun, there was less meme coins. There was better devs. It seemed like it was just like gains were just everywhere to be made. And we had a proper altcoin season. And if you got stuck on Ethereum last cycle, you got wrecked because the people who really won were on Solana, even with all the shenanigans that it had. So, you know, I first came into the market through, I bought GME, I bought AMC. I made my first 100,000 with AMC, and it was all through Robinhood. And then I hit on Dogecoin and I was like, what's the next meme stock? And I realized stocks don't do this normally. This is like an anomaly. And then I became enthralled with meme coins. And, you know, I feel like so much retail has come into the markets from Robinhood from that 2021 era. So I feel like not many people in retail won last cycle. Like they got rinsed in perps. They came into Solana. They got wrecked by the vape cabal. Pump.Fun, like it was just a slaughtering. And usually retail gets slaughtered, but at least sometimes they get a 5x, a 10x, because that's what keeps them coming back. So when I seen Robinhood chain launch, Vlad's supporting memes, he's supporting RWAs. People are like kind of have a sour taste of memes in their mouth a little bit from the Trump coin, from Solana. So people are liking the RWAs, but also Vlad embracing the memes. And I feel like retail will return to the last place they won. And I think that was Robinhood chain. And if you've downloaded the Robinhood wallet, it's so seamlessly to literally upload Ethereum, you know, Robinhood Ethereum into your wallet, and then you can just start buying meme coins. So I'm like, these guys have 30 million users. If they start listing meme coins, like they're set to like do a full takeover. So if you're getting in on Robinhood chain early, you know, and they start listing RWAs and meme coins, like you're going to see crazy billion-dollar pumps. And that's what makes me bullish on it, because that's just a bullish narrative overall. Like they will funnel retail back into the crypto markets. And that's what we kind of missed last cycle, I felt like a little bit. So, you know, for me, that's just a bullish narrative in itself on top of everything else I said.
Do you think that Robinhood's chain can take away the mind share that Solana currently has when it comes to the meme economy?
Yeah, it's going to be a battle for sure. You know, you see like Ansem Coin, but like Ansem Coin kind of reminds me of Pepe. Everybody was like, obviously Pepe did way bigger numbers, but you know, we're in a market of diminishing returns, and everyone's like, Solana's the meme coin chain, it's solidified. But then you saw bonk happen on Solana, and after $1 billion cook happened, everybody jumped ship. And I think it's just a matter of time. And obviously Vlad has to get behind it. Robinhood app has to list it. And I think when you see one of those meme coins, you know, get listed on Robinhood chain and it goes to like 5 billion, 10 billion, like something stupid, then I think it's checkmate for Solana. And I think a lot of people are going to jump over, and they're going to be the Ethereum of this cycle, of last
What do
cycle.
you think? What do you think happens with Base here? Because Base made the move to bring Kobe on to run the Base app. Jesse steps away and focuses purely on Base. What do you think happens here, though? Do you see any sort of real? I'm going to leave Solana here because I think Solana has already taken enough mind share away from Ethereum.
Yeah.
But Base here, where I thought they were ahead in terms of ahead of the game and had the opportunity to cement themselves, Robinhood's come obviously into the mix. Robinhood's a behemoth. They have people on their platform that have no idea about crypto and have not even touched it yet. But here's Base. Do you think Kobe has a solution to go ahead and turn it around? And do you think they will?
It's just tough because now Base is on its second cycle, and people are looking for the fresh new chain, which is Robinhood chain. So yeah, Base will probably have some bangers, and there'll probably be this little bit of an L2 run, but people are looking for the fresh new chain. And if actually you look at the Base market cap and the Solana market cap, they're not even combined. They're not bigger than the Robinhood market cap, like the Hood market cap. So I feel like Robinhood is just a beast. And we know that most of those people that use Robinhood are retail. Is that boomer or that person who's not really too educated on the markets, but they know how to use Robinhood. So I feel like, if they start listing meme coins, listing RWAs, I feel like there's just going to be all these users buying it. And I think they're going to pump and do some crazy numbers, like way more than a listing from Binance. And I think that is just like checkmate against every other chain. So I still think Robinhood has a massive edge over Base, just because it's first cycle and because it has access. Like Coinbase is a beast, but Coinbase messed up a little and didn't fully embrace the memes. Looks like Vlad's going to do that.
What do you as sleepers? We have BNB, right? Binance chain. You still got to look over there, right? Behemoth,
Yeah.
CZ, you can't count them out, right? Kind of thing. But then there's a new. So like I feel like there's 5. There's a new guy who we're not really talking about. Crazy Pavel over there. I think it's called Telegram. 1 billion users on it. Graham, could that be a sneaky player that comes into the mix? During when the bull run really comes back, when we flip into the once the charts flip bullish, could we see Graham being in the play right now along with everybody else?
Yeah, Telegram has some really unique abilities as well. I mean, and like you said, I was messing around with that Tether chain, and it's kind of janky. It's really hard to buy memes, but obviously they can streamline that. It's going to get interesting, man. But I just feel like the shiny new object, the new kid on the block, Robinhood chain, the access to the app where all of the retail's at, I think they have the best setup to dominate. Whether Vlad fully embraces it and goes for it, which he's showing signs that he's gonna, they dominate. But yeah, BNB, like they're gonna crime coins to $1 billion market cap. No matter what, like that chain is just stupid. Like BNB is like, if you invested early in BNB, you're just laughing right now.
Yeah,
and another one too that no one talks about, but it has the best chart in all of crypto, is Tron. Like no one talks about Tron, but like go look at that chart, bro. Like that thing hasn't really corrected much. That's like the most beautiful chart that you've seen for a multi-cycle coin, and it creates new all-time highs every cycle. So you can't really count them out as well, but it's going to get interesting, man. You have to be ever evolving in this game. You cannot be a one-chain maxi. You have to be a gains maxi. And that's why being a multi-chain degen is, we learned it last cycle. If you're not that, you're not going to make it.
Do not be a one-chain maxi. That is 100%. I agree with that. All right. Give me before you go, give me what are you absolutely fucking bullish on? Like if there's one, and I'm sure you have multiple memes, but
yeah,
if there's one meme out there, which one are you like absolutely dead on bullish on?
With the meme coins right now, there's nothing that I could just show you with like crazy conviction right now. But I would say with the RWA coins, we called Index at 1 mil market cap. It skyrocketed to 60 mil after Vlad followed it. It got sold down, tons of JEETs, but it's printing tokenized stocks to its holders. It uses the fees from a small tax on the token. So I think Index is a sleeper. They've partnered with Pawns. So, and it's honestly low. So that's really the only one that I would shield to you. Catcoin, obviously we want to see that succeed because that's kind of like the benchmark. We need that $1 billion cook on Robinhood. So it's either already out or it hasn't come out and it's coming out soon. So, I would just say Index for an RWA. If I come on your show later, I'll have some meme coins, but there's nothing that I can fully be bullish on and shill that's at a good market cap to get in. So I'll stick with Index.
But you're bullish. Besides that, and of course you'll come back on here, maybe hopefully in the next month or two we can bring you back on. But you're bullish on. Are you bullish on the market coming back? Altcoin season happening. It didn't happen last cycle. Whatever that was, it was just Bitcoin. 7 other things went up, and that's it. And that's how I looked at it. Are you bullish on altcoin / memes just absolutely going parabolic this time around, especially if the Clarity Act gets passed with $17 trillion potentially coming into the market?
I think with so much delusion in the market, like with so much dilution, like there's so many coins, so many chains, I think altcoin season has changed a little. It's not like when we were 2021, right? Where Bitcoin dominance was just getting demolished. And you could throw an ETH or a Solana or any money at any coin and get a quick 10x. Like people don't realize how crazy it was at the end of that cycle. And even after Bitcoin topped out, I mean, I made so much money in meme coins after that. So I don't think that time is coming back, but I do think there's going to be isolated altcoin seasons. And I think Robinhood is going to be one of those spots that you want to be on. Where you do have that crazy run and you can just start throwing money around and just get crazy gains.
Fading Robinhood is crazy, basically, bottom line.
Absolutely, man. And one last thing before we get off for the fight thing. For those who don't know, I am president of a new fight promotion, and I don't know if you know about this, David, but
I was going to ask you about it, but go ahead, go for it.
Yeah, we're airing on ESPN Ocho at 10:30 Eastern this Saturday. It's called Bare Knuckle Ice Wars. It's a new fight promotion. It's basically bare knuckle hockey fights, 3 1-minute rounds. People are fighting in an icebox, full hockey gear, no sticks, no pucks, just fights, and they're fully bare knuckle. So that'll be airing again August 8th on Saturday, 10:30 Eastern. You can watch it on ESPN, ESPN 8, and obviously the app as well. So tune in for that, man.
That's dope because I played hockey my entire life. So that's,
no way.
Yeah. So that's dope to see.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm a huge MMA fan. Obviously, huge into UFC and stuff. But
Nice.
Played hockey my entire life, and that's okay. That's going to be cool to watch.
Yes.
Are there ex-hockey players that are going to be on there fighting, or is it just like?
So it's a mixture between just like hockey goons, enforcers, a lot of Canadians, obviously, because they love that. But we've also had crossovers from Charles Boston Strong Rosa. He was been in the UFC 10 years. He came over, he played college hockey. He got a knockout against an enforcer. We see bare knuckle boxers doing it who can skate. The number one rule, you have to be able to skate. If you can't skate, you just fall down and you take damage and you look stupid. But if you could skate and you can fight, Ice Wars is the spot. And if you like pure action, just like hardcore brawls that are fast paced, tune in this Saturday because you will definitely like it.
Guys, I'm going to, I guess I'll retweet. If you have anything on your page, send it over to me. I'll retweet this and I'll also put it into the thread. Guys, tune in. That should be, I'm going to tune in because that should be, I didn't even know.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tune in and see how these guys do on ice while throwing haymakers, man. Shout out to you for coming on to the show. Appreciate you. Hopefully we can get you back the next month or two to go ahead and chop it up more. I'm pretty sure at that point, maybe Robinhood will, maybe Vlad will call something and something will be shooting towards the goddamn moon.
Absolutely. And I hope it helps Ethereum, bro. Let's get a 10K ETH this cycle. Like, come on, man.
That could be right this time. I mean, like, Jesus Christ, ETH, man. Oh my God. As long as they keep Ethereum away, as long as As long as they keep Vitalik away from a microphone and video cameras, I'm good, bro. Like him
Yes.
sniffing robotic dog ass and talking about decentralized sci-fi governance books, bro. Just say that you love the meme culture, man. We
Yes.
started on ETH. Say it already,
Yes,
bro.
I know.
Jesus. All right,
All
Ian.
right,
I appreciate you.
Thanks, David. We'll see you soon.
That's Ian. Go check out his new, obviously his new promotion. That should be dope. I'm gonna tune in because that's dope. Obviously, being a hockey player, you fought on ice a few times. Yes, I did. Threw some haymakers. It's hard. It is absolutely hard. But I asked him some questions. Yeah, let me tell you something. Ian's well spoken. Shout out to him. That knows what he's talking about. We'll be right back after this commercial break. We'll bring on Deployer. That's right. Deployer. We'll talk about Banker. We'll talk about Base. We'll chop it up right after this commercial break. Sponsored by Midnight.
What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh, wait. I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we built Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know this in crypto. Ownership matters. That's why Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet gives you full control of your digital assets, all in one easy-to-use application. You can store Bitcoin, Litecoin, Zcash, Monero, and many more with just one secure backup. Swap between coins in seconds. No copying addresses, no complicated steps, and even includes Bitcoin Lightning for faster payments. And with Cake Wallet built in, you can use crypto in real life through debit cards or gift cards. Simple, secure, self-custody. Download Cake Wallet and take control of your crypto. Welcome back to the show. We just had Ian on. Ian, man, I got much respect to Ian. We got new features on the program, but I'm not gonna do this yet. I'm not gonna fuck around with these new features. I'll fuck around and cancel the goddamn show or some shit. I know myself. Welcome to the breakdown, episode 760. Okay, we got Deployer coming on in about 2 minutes. Well, no, actually, look at me, man. Keeping him in the back. Nobody, not a single person offered him water. This is how bad we are. No Skittles, no water, no nothing. This is like, why the fuck am I coming on to this show? Shout out to the sponsors, Midnight, also Polymarket, the official prediction market sponsor of the breakdown, also Cake Wallet. For those, by the way, all bullshit aside, all bullshit, somebody in the, obviously, motherfuckers in the back talking. For those that are scared right now, and I'm being serious, those that are scared to hold their, Bitcoin in a Treasure or a Ledger or whatever the fucking wallet is, you can go ahead and, I what the hell, man? I will go ahead and make sure to tell you to go. Man, I just saw something and I just fucking flipped my head. Just now, this is crazy. I'm gonna have to keep it like this. I'm gonna have to keep the overlay like this. Oh my god, damn it. Anyway, go to Cake Wallet. That's what I'm trying to say. Go to Cake Wallet if you feel unsure. Okay, if you feel a little bit nervous, use Cake Wallet. Like I trust Vic, I trust that entire team. They've built a phenomenal product throughout the years. Use Cake Wallet. Okay, now let's bring on Deployer. Deployer, what's happening, man? Thanks for coming on.
What's up, David? Thanks for having me on, man.
I
How you
appreciate
doing?
I'm doing good, man. Can't complain. Monday, the whole weekend was you had spaces open talking about everything that happened with this exploit with
Yeah.
my god, why do I keep forgetting the name? What is wrong? I'm having Biden. I'm having Biden moments right now. You're gonna have to it's you know what it is? I looked at that overlay and it was wrong and now it's bugging me. But
You're
what
talking about
happened?
the exploit on Banker, right?
No,
What are you
I'm not
talking
talking
about?
about. No, I'm not talking about the exploit on Banker. There was an exploit where, come
Oh,
on, Landy, help me out.
yeah. What's the wallet name? The Bitcoin exploit.
I'm gonna keep look at me. I'm gonna keep confusing the goddamn name. Thank you, Cold
Cold
Card.
Card.
I wanted to say Cool Card. That's why I held back. But Cold Card, it's not so cool right now. But it got exploited. A lot of Bitcoin was drained out of those wallets. And it's sad to see because
Terrifying. Yeah.
a lot of people, it's a trust me, bro, which I'm gonna have an argument later on with Landy about it. Yeah, Cold Card for real. But Bitcoiners pushed for this, and now people went into it, and then they got drained, and it sucks because we're trying to bring people into the space. We're trying to showcase it, and then this kind of thing happens. So now people are wondering whether or not they should be, holding their stuff in, cold wallets. So, what are your thoughts on that? Have you read into it or no?
It's tough, man. It's really tough, right? Because I mean, for the entire crypto lifespan, we're like, not your keys, not your coins. Put it on cold storage, this and that. And then you're doing everything right. You wake up in the morning, all your funds are gone. Like I couldn't imagine the way that the guys with millions in that wallet felt. Like we got exploited at Banker. They stole about $1 million, and just like the sinking feeling that you get when you realize you've been had. And I couldn't imagine, like, it's your personal money, right? It's for your family. Maybe you got kids, for your kids' college, whatever. You're thinking generational, like this Bitcoin, this is going to pay for my kids' college. It's going to pay for my kids' college. And then to wake up and see that you were drained from a hardware wallet, just so sickening, man. And like, and having been on the other side, it's like these hackers, right? I just, they're absolute rats, right? Like they hide in the shadows. They move it, onto different exchanges. You try to get the FBI involved. FBI drags their feet. The exchanges can only freeze it for so long. They take your money, it's gone. You're probably not going to get it back. And I doubt Cold Card has 88 million in the bank to refund these people, unfortunately. So,
But that sucks, right? Deployer, like at the end of the day, like that's a big problem to build. There's no confidence in somebody coming in here, putting 20% of the net worth into something, and then something tragic like this happens, which could have been avoidable. I'm gonna put it out there. It could have been avoidable, and
yeah.
now a person's out of money. They're out 20% of the net worth, and all they're gonna get is a sorry because there's no insurance. So why would somebody want to put their stuff on a cold wallet versus go through an ETF?
I think it's a massive problem, right? Like you can't expect like non-technical people to get a cold wallet and load their funds. Like, so, maybe it is, the future looks more like you have a trusted custodian like a Kraken or a Coinbase who has these teams. Kraken has probably the best security team in the world on this stuff 24/7. Now that's not something you get, when your uncle or your dad say you'll go buy a cold wallet and put your funds on that. Like I would be more comfortable like with relatives or whoever, who are non-technical, like hold it on an exchange with like multi-factor authentication and like best practices there. You're probably well off, And then another thing, that's a reality, like an unfortunate reality, is the wrench attacks. If someone finds out you have a bunch of crypto in a cold wallet, you kind of become a target. So and that's the reality. We've seen it, man. Like the latest, I'm sure you saw this Sandbox founder's wife. They tried to put her in the trunk of a car. What the fuck? Like I know that guy, and you think about, could that happen to me? It's terrifying, man. And so, I get like we're self-custodial maximalists, there's something to that. But also there's something to like alignment of a Kraken type exchange that could keep your funds safe.
I hope we really do come up with something. And we had the whole quantum resistance conversation, and I felt like that was a narrative being pushed. Though it's something that obviously the whole space has to look at, but there's more like companies trying to get in here and kind of like work with others to go ahead and get paid, kind of thing. And they've pushed this scare tactic on people. But for me, this isn't a scare tactic. This is a real issue. This is something I'm not trying to, some people will DM me after the show and they'll say, dude, why are you pushing this fear kind of mongering here? I'm not. It's time for us to pay attention, because if we're going to have adoption, we need to make sure that this shit's secure. Like, again, like I said in the beginning, person puts in 20 to 30% of the net worth into Bitcoin, hypothetically speaking, or ETH, and it gets drained the next day. Not a good look.
Not a good look.
Not a good look.
And it's exacerbated by AI, right? Like AI is only going to get more powerful. These open source models are going to catch up to the frontier models being pushed out by Anthropic, and they're not going to have the safeguards that. And who knows? Like, is North Korea already operating on frontier level open source models? Right? Is that how? Like you saw, like the last few months, just tons of crypto exploits, right? And this is just the latest, and I don't think it's going to slow down. And so it is. The AI risk is real. Like attackers are using AI to speed up exploits, to find new exploits that we didn't even know existed, right? It's like, what is safe, right? Is anything safe at this point? It's kind of scary. And like you say fear mongering, but it's just like you said, the reality of it is we have these incredibly smart models that are looking for exploits. So what do we do about that?
We hope our innovators can go ahead and somehow come up with a solution. That's what and that's why let's talk about our innovators, somebody like you. Let's talk about BankerBot. When did you come up with? You sat down one day and you said, "Okay, this is what I want to go ahead and do here." Where did the idea come from to begin with?
So, end of 2024, was spending a lot of time on the social network Farcaster. If you're not familiar, it is a decentralized social network. In the beginning, a lot of kind of builders and hobbyists, and it was just kind of a cool, like Vitalik has an account. I don't know if he's still posting on there. They eventually, sold it off, sold the protocol, and went and worked for Tempo, but it still exists. But it had its moment, and maybe it'll have its moment again. But in 2024, I was building a lot of like interesting experiments on there, because it's like an open, decentralized social network that was just ripe for interesting experiments to be built on top of it. And You had people experimenting with AI agents. Thought that was interesting. It was like this emerging narrative, right? AI agents, like, and initially they're kind of just chat bots, that lived in the social feed that like, would respond to people and have some memory, and they weren't that interesting. Then one, Clanker, I'm sure you've heard of it.
Yeah.
Clanker, the launch pad, right? It was kind of like the first one to launch coins from the social feed. Like you tag the bot and it launches the coin. And I was talking to my business partner, and we had a early NFT company that was actually acquired, and we had kind of been looking for the next thing to do for a while. And I was just kind of explaining to him what was happening on Farcaster, AI agents. There's this agent that deploys coins. We got, well, what if there was an agent that could buy coins for you? And I was like, yeah, that's cool. So, spent the week building a prototype, and that was kind of the beginning of Bankers. It started as just this agent that could buy coins for you in the social feed. So, and it was a fun time because like these Clanker coins would absolutely rip, and if you got in early, you'd make a bunch of money. And so a bunch of people were using Banker to like kind of snipe these Clanker coins the moment they launched in the social feed. And that was kind of the first catalyst. But that's also the time where I realized the power of AI agents. And I said, this is bigger than just like a bot that buys coins for you. Like this is technology that everybody's going to be using in their lives, very soon, right? Because it can do anything, right? Any digital, anything you do digitally, which we're seeing, right? People are automating their lives with AI agents. And like, it wasn't until I started building an agent that I realized the power of this technology. So that's kind of where it started. It's since grown. Like we have the earliest crypto agent in the industry, the most vetted, the most widely used. And now not only is an agent and agent infrastructure, but we're building an entire ecosystem. People are building on top of Banker. People are launching coins on Robinhood Base. We're launching coins paired with stock tokens on Robinhood. So we're really trying to build an ecosystem, not only an agent, but like just an entire agentic like ecosystem. So that's where we're at. That's what we're doing.
Fucking awesome. By the way, and I say that honestly, it's fucking awesome. The crowd. Sikas is one of my homies, bro. Like, and that whole MF crowd.
He's great. Yeah.
I mean, every day there's tweets that go out. Go ahead, fade us, kind of thing. I respect the fuck out of that. By the way, this is episode 760. You've tuned in. I am trooping it out, but we have great guests on today. Deployers here. Look at you. You got your fans are in here, and they're DMing me on the side, and they're on TikTok as well. So shout out to you guys. What is this?
Yeah,
I know what it's about, but I'm gonna ask you. What is how did the whole Grok has money situation come about?
Yeah. So firstly, like the DRB Grok has money community, these guys, like you mentioned, the Banker community and Banker fans, like we've somehow built this community of like real fucking like degen believers, like kind of like power to the people, right? Like, and that's been like my motto is like, we didn't raise any money for Banker. Like I started building Banker on my own, no VCs. Like I've always aligned with like crypto gives power back to the people. And it's the only industry where like you can basically pick yourself up by your bootstraps and build something interesting. And it's like a meritocracy, and like the best builders will win. And like we found a community that aligns with us. Like, and so anyway, so back on the Grok, thing. I mean, it was something where someone got Grok to interact with Banker and deployed a coin. Basically just two AI agents talking to each other. And it was one of the earliest cases of that. And then this community formed around it. because it's like it's really interesting. Like when you look at the kind of the history of AI, right? I think like you're going to have these examples. Like this is an interesting example of like early AI, between two different agents, right? Because I think we're going to see a lot more AI collaboration, like this different systems interacting with one another, and that's like one of the earliest examples. But then, like since Grok is on Twitter or X, and every X account has a banker wallet, Grok started accumulating fees. So every time its token was traded, it gets more fees into its banker wallet. It starts making money. That's where Grok has money came in, right? And so you get the DRB community under like every Elon tweet, Grok has money. Hey, by the way, Grok has money. And so like it's an interesting thing to think of.
They're asking about Grok having money in their Teslas. Like they're asking Grok within the Tesla. Like I think Sakasa did it, and a lot of other people have done it, where they're like, does Grok have money? And obviously within your Tesla, it's telling like, the Grok, obviously AI is telling you, yeah, Grok has money, and I think it's fascinating.
And so now, right, it's like it's baked into the Grok model. Now Grok knows that it has money, and so when Grok becomes sentient at some point, it's going to use its money to do something interesting.
That's so fucking dope, man. That is so dope. And there's been like arguments about it, like on Spaces, but at the end of the day, for me, it's like Grok still has money, regardless of how you look at it. Grok,
it's true.
At one point, it had over $1 million. I think it was like, I don't know how. I know it was over $1 million. I know at one point.
So I don't know how much it has now. It's been exploited once before. It's like is somebody tricked Grok into sending money early on, and I just think if Grok becomes sentient, you don't want to be the guy that robbed Grok, right? When AI takes over the world, man. You don't want to be that guy. Grok's going to turn you into a battery.
You got Robinhood, you got Base, and like for me personally, I like things for you, at least from my perspective. I could be wrong. Things for you got started on Base. Am I wrong on that?
Started on Base. The banker tokens on Base. I mean, early Farcaster, very Base heavy. Yeah.
Now, obviously, you have Robinhood Chain coming into the mix. You got Solana. Like I'm looking at there's 5 behemoths essentially now that are out here. Obviously, meme economy, meme culture is everything. To me, at least, I think meme culture is. Look, I love Bitcoin, I love Ethereum, I love the majors, but I'm a meme head. I love meme culture. I'm not talking about the silly tickers that come off. Like I'm not talking about the silly shit. I'm talking about like the real memes with some lore and history, or shit that people are actually building out, but memeing at the same time. I can fuck with that.
Yeah.
You have Robinhood now. I've seen a lot of people when Robinhood first came out. Unbeknownst to everybody, effectively your program can go ahead and facilitate contracts for a Robinhood, correct?
Yep. So you can launch tokens on Robinhood. We've had a few runners. You can
do Solana as well.
We disabled support for Solana. So initially it was just Base. Robinhood came out. People wanted to trade on Robinhood. We had Robinhood support. And I mean, it's 2 different architectures. Like I've always been like kind of an EVM maxi. Like our whole, we support Solana, just not.
So hold on, I'm gonna stop you there. Forget about Solana for a second. Then you said EVM maxi. I respect it.
Yeah,
because Ethereum has done nothing, and I am. People call me an ETH maxi, and you can ask around. I've been super disappointed with the way that Vitalik has approached the meme culture, and in a sense, not embracing it like others have. So here you have Robinhood, and here you have Base, which have come in. And to me, they're the only ones that can really, really, if everybody's talking about return to mainnet, all this bullshit that's out there, I feel like they're the only 2 that can go ahead and have that happen. But I feel like Base was first to market. And I don't know I don't know if they took it seriously or not. I don't want to say they were unserious about it, but maybe they just didn't understand the culture the way that others do.
Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah, I mean that's been a complaint from the community for a long time. You had early memes on base run into a billion market cap. Show me a meme today, with that kind of motion. Right? You had multiple, right? Degen was Toshi, I think.
Brett
And
went
didn't
to 3 billion
insane, insane to look back and see
and no
that kind of,
support. It was just like no support.
that's it. And and the community sees that. I think base is like they're coming around, but like a lot of people were upset that they were giving this exact feedback to base for a long time, and kind of fell on deaf ears until maybe it was too late. But you can't count out base. I think volume's going to rotate back to base. And it could be like, it could happen quickly. But yeah, and then so people were kind of upset with base, and then Robinhood comes on the scene, new flashy thing. Vlad immediately is like, I like memes. Memes are cool. And then people are like, yes, this is what we wanted. Somebody who understands the trenches. And you can't disregard the trenches. It's just, that's who's trading crypto, right? Like this degen internet culture is crypto. Like it's part of, yes, you've got the stable coins, you've got the regulations, but at the core, you have this internet degen community that's always going to be such a big part of crypto. And anybody who disregards that is just like, it's a foolish thing to do, right? Because like that is like, such a huge part of the culture
But how
that you
did,
need to acknowledge.
how does, and I don't want them to lose because I love everybody. I would love healthy competition because it would only make this space better. The
Yeah.
innovation, like products would be better. So like to me, it's like when you have just one person dominating, I feel like in some sense you can look at Ethereum, one person dominating. What happens? Like, have we really leveled up? No, like people start taking shit seriously when a lot or two or three or four competitors start getting into the mix and start doing things. But I don't, even with the Kobe movement, I respect that. I think Kobe will do well for the base app, and maybe some of the suggestions which he hears from the trenches will make its way into Coinbase headquarters, and maybe they'll do things. But I don't know, how can you compete against Robinhood? By the way, I don't have a stake in this either. Like I want both of them to be successful, but Robinhood is a behemoth. Like
Yep.
half their user base has not even touched crypto. They haven't really. I don't even think they've really haven't gotten. I don't think they haven't gotten started on Robinhood chain to begin with. Like they really haven't pushed the marketing, pushed anything yet. They've acknowledged it, but they really haven't gone really full force into it. How do you beat something like that?
Well, Robinhood launched. Robinhood is a real player. I agree with what you said about competition, and that's actually why I was excited about Robinhood launching, because up till now, Base hasn't had that competition, and now you can see them getting serious. They're like, okay, like we've been dragging our feet on chain stocks and RWAs. Let's get it done, right? And rumored to come this week. Hopefully, it does. So I think the competition is going to light a fire under Base's ass. I think also Brian's the CEO, he's going to see this, and I think they're going to start taking it more seriously, right? Because I've always thought like Coinbase's mission is to like disrupt the financial system and create a new way to move money and this and that, but the way you do that is, in my opinion, through Base, right? In this decentralized manner, right? And so, that's how you change the game, right? Like even just thinking about stocks, putting stocks on chain. Now you can trade stocks 24/7. Like that in itself is a game changer, right? Like anybody in the world can now trade these U.S. stocks. That changes the game, and that's what Base Coinbase has had available to them for the entire year, right? 2 years before Robinhood even launched.
Yeah.
Now Robinhood launches and like, oh shit, time to get on it. So I mean, and Coinbase has done a tremendous amount for like the crypto industry as far as regulation, right? At the end of the day, we do need regulation. We do need some alignment between the crypto and government for it to grow into what we want it to be. And they've done probably more than anybody else in the industry. So you can't count out Coinbase. Yeah, but you're right. Like Robinhood has retail. They already have people like so. But it's just going to drive Coinbase to be more competitive, I hope.
Have they reached out to you? Like here you are, you've been. I'm talking about Coinbase. You don't have to say yeah or nay, but like, have they reached out and said, listen, Sean, man, like you can literally help us out here. Like you're here, you're building, you're in the trend. You got a huge following. People love the product. Like, what do we need to do here? Like, wouldn't they tap into you? I mean, come on.
They've tapped in. We talk with Base. I talk with Jesse. Me and Jesse live in the same area, so I'm going to be in his ear. I'm going to be in his ear. I'm going to be telling him that what we're seeing in the trenches.
What happens if Robinhood reaches out?
Well, we talked to Robinhood too, man. We talked to Robinhood too. It depends. Right. Yeah. I mean, Base. Behind the scenes, like Base has been very supportive for Banker. Yeah. I can say that. I think Robinhood has yet to see the motion that Banker has and the community that we have. So, but anyway, yeah, we talked to both of them in Base. Base. Like I said, we talked to Base. I talked to Jesse. We're talking.
What do you see within the next? And obviously, this is just you guessing out here, just like I would. But what do you see in the next 6 to 12 months? With all the tech that's out here, and with the 4 or 5. To me, I think it's the 4, 5, 6 behemoths that are here. What do you see playing out here, especially when the bull market returns, or the charge? I should say the charge flip bullish, because I think the bullish sentiment is back.
Yeah,
the charts aren't. So it's kind of like once the charts flip bullish, what do you say?
Well, here's the thing: do we have like a massive meme season, or does or is there kind of a return back to utility and builders, or is it like a combination of both? I would like to see both. Are people going to get kind of tired of memes? Hard to say. I mean, I mean, do you have an opinion? Like maybe just kind of the vibe I'm getting is that volume on Robinhood is kind of tapered a bit from the initial launch of all the meme runners. Is that trend going to continue, or are we just going to have this massive meme rally, which is going to feed into all the other coins as well? Like volume will be back for sure. People will bid builders, right? Volume it's not just going to be memes, but I guess we're gonna have some of the memes are going to survive. A lot of them are going to die, but there's going to be some top memes. That's kind of what I think.
I would love for us to support the builders again.
Yeah.
So like there is a place for meme, like real OG memes that make sense kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to separate it from the lottery tickets, right? The ones that go up for 5 minutes and they just like, that's what I'm trying, like meme culture and supporting real dev, like yourself, real builders is what we need to go back to. Like I've been saying this for years. If you rewind the podcasts and the shows, I'm like, it's time for us to go back to at least what I'm accustomed to, support people that are truly building out here with their faces out here every single day, showing up and trying to do something here. That to me is what this community needs to do. We need to get back to that, and enough supporting randoms that are not, and there's nothing wrong with being anonymous, but like you have people that like are anonymous, that are just launching shit every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's just absolutely, to me, it's destroying the culture that has been built out here. Because you've gone from a delayed gratification type of mindset to instant gratification. And if you per se were building this out, if you just started this, hypothetically speaking, and if let's say Banker Bot wasn't flown within 3 days, people would be out. No,
That's it.
Fuck it. This shit has not done nothing in 72 hours. We're done. It's cooked.
Yeah.
And that to me is pretty sad, because if you know how to build a business, it takes time. It takes time to build things correctly. Can't rush. And you're doing this in 4K. It's not like, imagine you have a complaint department coming out on social media. You're getting tagged left, right, DMs. Tim Cook doesn't go through this with Apple. They're not going to tell you what they're doing. We're coming out with an iPhone. We'll let you know. Okay.
Yeah.
You guys are out here, like, you're explaining things every single day when you could use that energy towards building. Yeah, guys, I'll give you an update. In the next few weeks, you'll get an update. But right now, the crowd gets anxious. They don't hear from somebody. Wow, that's it. It's rugged.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, man.
It is, man. It's not for the faint of heart. Like, every week we've got something new we're dealing with, in building, on X, like, you deal with so much, right? Like, but you're right. Like, there's so much, it's hard to parse the signal from the noise today, right? And why is that? Maybe one, because it's so easy to launch coins. More people are seeing the opportunity, right, to get a quick buck. Traders want the lottery ticket. You want to get in, you want to get out, you want to make a little money.
Yeah.
So, but I think for those that persist, like, once the dust settles, the real builders will win, right? Like, we've been building Banker now for almost 2 years. We've been through cycles. We've been through FUD campaigns, paid FUD campaigns from our competitors. We've been through exploits. The token is still cooking. We're still cooking. We have years of runway. At the end of the day, I think the builders will win. But I'm a DGen myself. I think it's fun to partake in this speculation.
Because you're experimenting. It's an experiment. But if you're experimenting in a way like, does this work?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's a different mindset.
That's a good point you bring up, because I think actually nobody knows where this space is headed, and it takes a lot of experimentation to figure what works and what doesn't. And so I'm all for experimentation, right? And I think in order to survive in this industry as a builder, as a founder, you need to be ready to pivot on a moment's notice, because this industry changes week by week, day by day. And that's what we've been able to do pretty well. Like, we have our core vision, our core foundation, but like, we're able to move quickly, depending on kind of what's happening. So I think that's important.
Anything before you go? Anything new on the horizon?
New on the horizon. Looking forward to stocks on Base. I think that's going to bring some motion back to Base. We're still focused on, like, onboarding the best teams. We want to work with the best teams, and whether that's teams building memes, teams building AI agents, DeFi products, it doesn't matter. Like, that's our bet, is like, if we focus on helping builders win, we will win. So we're having a hackathon in New York coming up. We're looking at building a builder's house in New York, a space for people to come, and build with us. We're focused on the builders, man. And like you said, it's a slower process when you're building a business. You can't put together a builder house in a day. Okay, so like, we're taking a longer term bet on builders, right? So that's where we think it's going. So anyway, man, yeah, appreciate you having me on, man. It's been fun.
Appreciate you coming on here, Deployer. Your fans are in here, man. They love you. I got to say.
We love them, man. I love them. They're great.
They definitely appreciate you. Besides you coming onto the show, obviously I'm in circles and They're always talking nothing but good stuff about you, man. They're like, when you bringing the goat on? I said, I'm bringing them on.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Appreciate you, and then continue the good work, and hopefully we can get you on next time.
Yeah, happy to do it.
Thank you, man.
All right.
Appreciate you.
See ya.
That was Deployer. There you go. Good. Yeah, I love talking to. One thing I do love talking to is people that build. Like, do you see, like, if you notice, people who build tech, they're always thinking out loud. And I love, like, sitting here as you're having the conversation. They're thinking about the shit that they're building. Even on the spot, they're thinking of shit that they're building. It's really fucking cool, man. It's really cool, man. It really is. It's dope that he made time to come on. We'll get Deployer on in the next month or two. Because if you think about it, if anybody's going to save base, real talk, if anybody's going to save base, it's going to be Deployer. Or people like Deployer are going to save base because they've been in it. They've worked within that ecosystem. And that's why I said Coinbase should be reaching out to Deployer. Be like, hey, man, you got your building, you got your ear to the streets. What do we need to do to go ahead and fight Robinhood? And I understand he's an EVM maxi, man. And it's healthy competition, but it's still, if I'm Coinbase, I'm like, yo, Deployer, you come, listen, you're with us, man. We're going to figure this shit out. That's it. These are the kind of moves that you got to make. And you know what? For a multi-billion-dollar company, pay the man. Put him on salary. $2 million minimum. I'm just saying, man, you got to take the people that have been building on your protocol. You got to bring them in. You can't let them go to the enemy. And I know this is healthy competition, but I'm just saying you can't let them go to the enemy. I don't know, man. Maybe that's just me. We'll be right back. We'll bring Landy back on to have the discussion about whether cold storage is the way to go. Maybe a taboo topic. I don't know. I'm just saying. Well, we'll be right back after this commercial break, sponsored by Midnight.
What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh, wait. I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we built Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know this in crypto. Ownership matters. That's why Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet gives you full control of your digital assets, all in one easy-to-use application. You can store Bitcoin, Litecoin, Zcash, Monero, and many more with just one secure backup. Swap between coins in seconds. No copying addresses, no complicated steps, and even includes Bitcoin Lightning for faster payments. And with Cake Wallet built in, you can use crypto in real life through debit cards or gift cards. Simple, secure, self-custody. Download Cake Wallet and take control of your crypto. Welcome back to the show. I'm doing my best. All I can say is I am doing my best. I am a professional. I show up. I am doing my best. Okay. I am trooping it out. I am absolutely fucking trooping it out. But let's bring back Landy. Landy, what's going on, man?
Hey, David.
That was a good. I like Deployer.
Oh yeah, he's great.
I
Super
think
smart
he's definitely
builder.
smart, man.
Super smart builder, and he's done some really incredible stuff.
Yeah.
I'm glad you had him on. I did not. Have you ever had him on before?
No, but I was like, man, like I want to bring on. I wanted to bring because I've watched him like talk, on social media,
Mhm.
and I like his tweets, the way that he thinks, and I'm like, you know what, I want to bring him on. I just want to have chop it up with him, especially with everything that's happening. You got Robinhood coming into the mix and all that stuff, and it seems like a lot of people are going to his protocol and using it to, I guess create things on Robinhood. And I was just like, let me bring him on. I mean, like, it's what I said before I went to commercial break. I don't know why. Like, if I'm the CEO of Coinbase, like, I'm giving him $2 million and asking him, what do we need to do here? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, this is somebody who started here. So why would I let him go there? Like, I don't know. It's the way we think in this space is absolutely it's mind-boggling. Speaking of mind-boggling, let's go right back to the topic that we were talking about, which is it safe to go ahead and use cold storage?
Yeah. I was thinking about what we had touched on before the other guests came on, and I don't think it is. I think one, yes, it is safe, right? Cold storage is safe if set up properly. And this is why some of the biggest, custodians in this space, in cryptocurrency in general, not just Bitcoin, they're not, at least I would hope, but for those that I know of, they're not utilizing or trusting vendor hardware and software. They're doing it themselves, right? But to your point, and to many's point at this particular time, is that for a much wider audience, they're not going to go through Sparrow and set up their own devices and stuff like that for, Bitcoin, and do air gapping and like all of this other stuff where they can ensure true RNG or true random number generation, dice rolls, and essentially, manage all of that because it's highly technical, right? And therefore, we have a cottage industry of cold storage hardware devices, and you are giving up a measure of, um, you know, the ethos of, don't trust but verify, um, because you are now trusting that the hardware works properly and that the developers are developing the software for that hardware in a proper manner, right? And mistakes happen. People are human, right? We're human beings, right? People make mistakes. Um, and we now live in an age where we have really robust tools with AI frontier models, and it's not just the fables of the world. Kimmy is doing crazy stuff now. You've got guardrails on GPT Soul, but still it's incredibly powerful. There was people utilizing Soul to like do investigations into the vulnerabilities and how it occurred, and it exposed even more. And it's between even Grok and GPT and um, Anthropic and the Kimmy stuff, right? Like you have all of these tools that make it that much easier to exploit potential vulnerabilities that are found, and you can just rip through things at a pace that we never could before. And I don't think this is the last time we're going to find ourselves in a situation where something really big happens like this. And look, I I kind of thought about the way that it might have been perceived a little bit earlier in the show, when I said like, look, just look back to the past. This isn't as bad. Well, there is a point to be made that this in the Bitcoin sphere of self custody, this is one of the largest events in terms of dollar amount and coins that have been exfiltrated because of this vulnerability to attackers' wallets and staging wallets and all that kind of stuff. So I don't want to diminish that, um, because there's kind of two different conversations happening, right? There is absolutely critiques of cold storage that are valid when it comes to vendor provided hardware and software. Um, I don't think that that reaches the level that I've seen on the timeline of cold storage is dead. Like, no, it's even the custodians have to work with cold storage. So it's if cold storage is dead, none of this is going to be viable in the future, right? So it is an issue that what I'm it's sad to see, and I feel for those that have lost coins to this particular vulnerability and the attackers that are exploiting it. But this hot fix pretty much out there as quickly as possible. We have so many eyes on situations like this that immediately there was tons of spaces with actual industry experts and developers breaking down how this occurred. You had a whole bunch of security teams for other cold storage providers or vendors and exchanges and hot wallet providers that are out there, staying up late at night, burning the midnight oil, making sure that all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed for their own stuff, as well as trying to break down and keep people informed on what the situation is and what's happened and why. And I think that because we have such a large crypto community now, and you see people that we haven't seen in quite some time hit the timeline like, hey, alert, like I know I've been gone for a while, but this is really important that you understand what's going on. I think that's a good thing. Um, but I've also seen the other side of this is kind of people becoming disillusioned of like, this is why Bitcoin and cryptocurrency will never make it and all of this other stuff. And I just don't agree. We've weathered a lot of storms in this space. This is just another storm. Um, it's an unfortunate one. It's a valuable learning lesson. And I think that realistically, um, that it doesn't fundamentally change anything about Bitcoin. And I kind of wanted to bring this up to you because I don't know if you remember this, but there was a lot of custodians that actually got hit with the um on the Ethereum side in what I want to say it was 23. You can correct me if I'm wrong if you remember the date on this, but it was the profanity vanity wallet attacks, right? That also fell back to you're muted. Also fell back to PRNG.
Said okay.
Oh, okay. So for those that maybe don't understand, there was Wintermute. Yes, thank you, thank you. It was Wintermute. There was a flaw in the profanity vanity address schema in the way that the entropy worked, and it fell back to pseudo random number generators, which decreases the pool of available, right? It becomes deterministic at that point from a
Yeah.
technical level to actually crack the underlying seed phrases, private keys, so on and so forth. And that was about $160 million. A lot of people don't remember that. It was 2022. So yeah, it was a year off. But there was a few subsequently that occurred even after the Wintermute stuff. Um, but this is, a fail state that this particular hardware went into that even the Mark One was not susceptible to for cold card. So I understand exactly where you're coming from. And this is, but I've also argued both sides of this, right? If you are going to take responsibility for custodying your coins, you have to, there's there's actually taking responsibility, and then there's offloading that responsibility to vendors, and you understand what that entails if you do that, right? Even
Yeah.
though you're being pitched that it's best practices, one of the big things that I'm not a big I've messed around with some hardware wallets and from vendors because I'm interested in the tech. I want to see how they're doing it. I want to dig into what it is that they're doing, how they're supporting their wallets, how it interfaces with their applications and all of these other things. But I've never actually kept a large amount of holdings on any of those vendor hardware wallets. I'm old school, and maybe that's just me because I don't know of too many people out there talking about setting up cold storage and air gapping with Sparrow Wallet anymore. But I'm from those days, man. Like I remember when Sparrow Wallet was like the thing, and it came out, and it was like ripping into that, and it was really cool. But I'm a nerd. Grandma's not going to do that, right? Your aunts, your uncles, your grandparents, they're not going to do that, right? And in many cases, most people here aren't going to do that. A lot of people in this space and I would say the majority work with hot wallets, even
Yeah.
though they have cold storage hardware wallets, right, from various vendors. But there is best practices, and I think that instead of a lot of folks declaring cold storage dead, I think that the conversation will, and I hope that I play some role in this and that you do as well, is move to that point of like, hey, here is the best practices. You don't keep all your coins on one hardware wallet. Have a mix of vendors if you're going to use hardware wallets. Learn if you are going to be in this game for the self custody side of things, and you are willing to take that responsibility on, understand the best practices, learn how to create your own hardware wallet, and not rely on a vendor, right? Understand multi-sig, understand all of these things, right? Because one of the keys that I brought up that no one was really talking about the other day, and I hope that they are starting to talk about this, is there's a lot of people that have hardware wallets, right? And then they will take that seed phrase and they will restore it or recover it to a hot wallet. You're actually
Yeah.
defeating the purpose of having a hardware wallet. And even Cold Card, if you took those the seed from there and restored it to um, hot wallets, you actually end up vulnerable not just on Bitcoin, even though it was a Bitcoin only wallet, because it generates for a lot of these hot wallets, it will generate based on that private key, it will generate
Right.
wallets across networks like Ethereum and Litecoin
But
and so on and so forth.
but my thing is, if we, this is, I'm speaking for the people now.
Mhm.
Okay, and this is my take on this, Landy. When last week me and you talked and you said, well, they knew about this, right? Remember?
I thought that they were aware because of the way they pushed one of their software updates,
But what I'm saying is, I'm pretty sure
but it's unverified.
it's speculation, right? But like, okay,
Speculation, yeah.
let me say it in a way where nobody gets butthurt. AI is around, right? AI is getting more advanced.
Mhm.
Now, I look at like when Anthropic comes out and they say, "Oh my God," or when like OpenAI comes out and they say like their AI agents escaped and they hacked into 3. I look at that as like a marketing ploy. In some way, it could be true, but I think it's marketing to make their companies more valuable. That's
Mhm.
just me. Could be true. I'm just saying. I think both can be true, though. I think from both sides of the spectrum. But you have AI. You know it's advancing. You know what China's doing, right? Like you know shit is happening, and here you are, or here we are, in one of the most important spaces, and I really mean that, one of the most important industries that has ever been created, and to be nonchalant about this stuff, I really believe that is the case. You know why I believe that, Landy? That is the case. It's because if it was taken seriously, you would have dedicated so much money to that department to make sure that these things don't happen.
Mhm.
Bottom line, I'm not saying things can't happen. Look, Equifax, they're 325. I mentioned this, 325 million people's information leaked. Like these things happen. These things happen, and they will happen. But if you're ahead of the game, and you have a team that knows how to use AI now to go ahead and find any exploits, run simulations to make sure that the people are taken care of, we're not in this situation. Or at least there's a lower chance of this situation happening. When you're sitting back with your cavalier attitude, forget about you. It's the people. It's the people that get hurt. They'll survive. It's the people that get hurt.
Yeah.
You know what the greatest thing would be is that if these hackers, I'll say this, if these hackers, I wish what these hackers would do is give back at least 95% of what they have accumulated through this exploit. Give it back. Keep 5% for themselves. That would be the better way. I know it's not going to happen. That's a fantasy world, but that would be the better way of saying, like, guys, I exploited you. I found your vulnerabilities. Here it is. I'm keeping 5%. Here's 95%. You guys go do what you got to go ahead and do. But now, right now, you know what's going to happen? So now you have given a reason for Senator Warren and the anti-crypto regime to go out there with the Clarity Act on the line. What, 5 days left? Is it 5 days left?
Yeah, I think they're going. Wait, do they have until next week? Is that the 13th, or am I 5 days?
5 days left for them to
including
go ahead.
today, so technically 4.
Okay. What do you think they're going to say? Look at what happened. We got to delay this because look what's happening here. They're going to find now they already had Trump, right? And Trump token to go ahead and say, well, Trump family is da-da-da-da-da. Okay. Everybody's already heard that. Nobody gives a fuck. Let's move with the Clarity Act. Whoa, look at this. A lot of people lost. Look at them. They're on social media. They're talking about losing 400,000, 600,000. You got 1.6 million. You got exchanges that are not giving people back their money. Apparently, that's been Bitmarket. What's that fucking name?
Bitmart, yeah, it's closing down.
Apparently, it's all over social media that they've closed down, but like people are trying to exit and they can't get their money out. So these are the things they're going to use and say, look how bad crypto is. And that'll give them every reason to delay. You know, one thing that Scaramucci said that I'm with him on. I like Scaramucci. I think he's a great guy. He'll be on this show again. I respect the fuck out of him. Do we agree on everything? No. There's one thing that he said. He wants to really see the Republican Party put the bill to the floor. Put the bill to the floor and let's see who doesn't vote for it. And I agree with him. Somebody responded in his tweet and said, well, the Republicans are going to vote for it. Great. Let's see the Republicans vote for it and let's see the Democrats not. And then we'll see. This will actually work in the Republicans' favor. Because if they don't pass the Clarity Act, right, which a lot of crypto people support, come midterms, things can change. Put it to the floor. And I actually agree with Scaramucci on that. Put it to the floor and let's see what happens. Just my 2 cents. Why not? If all the Democrats vote against it, then you, as crypto folks, you know where you need to be aligned or who you need to be aligned with.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No, you're correct.
And I don't think Scaramucci's wrong on that. Listen,
I think he's correct as well in that regard.
Him going back and forth with Trump and all that stuff, I agree to disagree on some of the things that he says. But when he wrote that tweet, I was like, he nailed it. It's a banger.
Well, something that you said that I do agree with is that this will be a talking point along with the exchanges for reasons why the current iteration of the Clarity Act should be under more scrutiny. But I also think that that's an excuse more than anything else, to hold things up. Now, and I think, maybe I'm a bit jaded. I will admit that I am. Now, I'm not a bit jaded. I am jaded, right? Because if you've been around long enough, you've seen, especially for anybody that's been around through multiple cycles, or even, you know what, even since last cycle, I look at these things in their totality, right? One of the bigger arguments that's going around right now is it's stuff like cold card and it's stuff like this and it's XYZ reasons why Bitcoin has not hit the numbers to the upside and crypto hasn't actually advanced in any meaningful way since the larger institutions have gotten involved, is because of all of these problems. But, you know, all you got to do is go back to the last bear market and we had massive blow ups in crypto, right? Like we had, and this is where I kind of, maybe this is what jades me a little bit. Some of these same people that were pitching, cold cards when it first, came out, right? When they got, when they were, the very first one, what was it? 1920 time frame. Um, in 21 into 22, these were the same people that were championing, BlockFi and Celsius and Voyager. And, you know, we all know what happened there. Massive billions and billions and billions of dollars in crypto lost. Some of those same people that were like, oh yeah, no, you should, not your keys, not your coin, were also doing that at the same time. And then of course we had FTX
We
and
allowed
a
for
whole
it.
myriad
We
of things.
allowed this
Luna,
to happen.
huh?
We allowed for this, Landy.
Well, but my point, let me make the point. It's not about us allowing these things to happen. It's about, if you look at where we are now, it's been relatively tame, right? In this drawdown for Bitcoin and the crypto space, in terms of the charts, let's say, in terms of the appreciation in value of the tokens, and Bitcoin, a lot of it's being blamed on all these issues that relatively, we have not seen the types of things that we even saw last bear market that were really, really scary situations for a lot of people. This is a scary situation for a specific subset of non-custodial holders, and it is a problem. It will be remedied, and I think that we will move on to finding that opportunity opens up more educational avenues for those that would like to participate. But it also opens up the other side that I have argued as well, is you're not going to get a lot of these folks in to do any of this highly technical stuff. And when they do, and they feel like they're protected because they took this route, they're not necessarily, because they don't know all the caveats.
I'm just going to tell you who's
that's where custodians come into play.
Win. You know who's going to win and who's going to create these products? You want me to tell you who's going to?
It's the institutions. I know they're already doing it.
You already knew where I was going, right? Like, because they're going to take all the fucking shit that we have here. They're going to see what's wrong. That's the greatest thing about it's a good and a bad thing to be first to market, because everybody gets to see your mistakes, right? Along with the shit that you do that's great, they see the mistakes, right? So here comes the institutions. They'll hire the right people. They'll pay them enough money. Okay, they'll pay them the money to create products that are secure.
Yes,
that's it. And
yeah.
This is where I keep on going with the institutions. Well, we're in the 9th inning, and there's 0 outs. But like, we are heading to the point where they're bringing in Mariano Rivera, and he's going to close us out, and they're going to take control of this entire industry. And then what happens? So, what was the point?
Well, and look, I've argued for a long time. Look, somebody asked a question there. I use institutional custody as well. All right. So I am a cold storage guy, but I use institutional custody. I use OTC desks, and guess what? They work with institutional custodians, right? Like, so the schemas for even moving around money involves institutional players these days. Look, we're
I
not
get it.
going to
I
Bitcoin meetups anymore and exchanging hardware
I
USBs,
get it.
right? Like,
I get it though. Like I
so
get it. But
I'm
like
of the opinion, like, I'm not one of those maxis that was pitching cold card, right? Like, I never got one myself.
I'm
I
not saying you
was,
did.
but the institutions have solved a lot of the problems in that regard, and that's why they're going to be able to bring products that grandma can get with relative security, and more importantly, David, insurance. You don't
Well,
have your own
that's
insurance for this
well,
in many
that's what I'm
cases.
saying. Like, what is the if I tell somebody right now to get into Bitcoin and they read this story, they're gonna be like, why would I want physical Bitcoin? It's not insured at any moment. The device can get exploited. So like, fuck this. I'll call Merrill Lynch or Morgan Stanley or whoever, and I'll have them get me Bitcoin. To them, they don't give a fuck
Or
about the
IBIT
physical part.
or Fidelity shares
Correct.
or
I'm
whatever.
just
Yeah.
saying, like, whatever you get here. Take $200,000 and get me as much as I'm just saying in general, like that's what they're going to do because it's insured. They'll have somebody to yell at. Because if something happens, they can
Yeah.
yell at somebody. You can't yell at nobody. Who you gonna yell at? The creators?
Yeah, well, I
Eh,
mean, they're gonna get yelled at either way, but they're
yeah,
not
but
gonna
you
be
can
able to do
yell at them. They
anything.
don't got money. They
They're
don't
not
got
gonna be
money.
able to do anything. Yeah.
They're not insured.
Well, that I don't
They're
know.
not,
I don't
no,
know.
I'm saying in
I'm
general. Are
assuming
they
they're not.
insured for $88 million?
I'm assuming they're not. Yeah, no, in their terms and services, obviously, it's they're not they've already absolved responsibility for any lost coins, right? Like
Somebody mentioned
that's all in the T's and C's.
and this is speculation, and I'm not footing I want to make it clear. This is not footing cold storage. This is this is news. This is not me fudding. This is actual news. These are actual events that took place. Somebody said that BitKey, they had some sort of thing that they needed to patch up. This is now going across the board, man. But this is all because of AI. I really feel that, like, you got people. You imagine you're already a programmer, you're already a hacker, right? And now you have AI. Do you know how powerful you become?
Yeah.
Like,
It
you are
supercharges
super
it.
powerful.
Yeah.
There's no way. By the way, these guardrails with AI that we keep talking about,
They're
guardrails.
easily
There's no
bypassed.
such thing.
Easily bypassed.
No, but even if you try to put like real guardrails on, it's over. You guys have not. You have not watched the movie The Terminator. It is done. It
Well, my
is
local
done. Like,
models have 0 guardrails, so like, and I run local models. They don't have any guardrails, right? This is from these, from larger companies and their frontier models. They try to put guardrails on them, and people will just break them continuously because guess what? When you put something out into the world and you already have tools, they can use those same tools to break the new tools, right? And this
Yeah.
is true of look, we've already seen, and this is something that cold card and the vulnerability exploit that was exposed and taken advantage of is a long line. It's in a long line of exploits that have been going on for the past 12 months or so, and it's just been accelerating. I mean, just whether it's a bridge, whether it's a protocol, whether it's a DeFi protocol, whether it's a some sort of a flaw in a chain,
Yeah.
whether it's wallet construction on the hot wallet side, whether it's now cold storage. This is the world we live in, and it's not going to slow down. But here's the silver lining to that: all of these developers have access to the same tools as the bad actors, and can hopefully adjust and start utilizing those tools to check everything they do going forward to find all those holes. One of the things that somebody brought up a good point is for 5 years it was sitting there. This is, open source software, right? And no one picked it out. And all it took was a simple, you know, a simple targeting from advanced AI to rip it apart and expose the vulnerability.
Yeah.
Um, and I do think that will keep security teams up at night for the next couple of months, really rethinking how they go about, handling their deployments of software, rechecking all their old work, and what's already out there and deployed. And I think that in the end, that yes, this is a terrible time for those folks, but I think that it will create better times for the future.
But you know what? And I respect what you're saying. But can you imagine you lost $3 million in Bitcoin. It's hard. You can't think about the past. You can only move forward.
Well, look, it's
Randy, that's the message.
Not trying to diminish it. No, you have to acknowledge it. But
I'm saying, but let's keep it 100 right now. This is the message that people are saying. I've read it. People are like, man, somebody's telling people, hey, I went through the same situation. You just got to keep moving forward. Can you imagine? You've invited people to this space to get into Bitcoin. I'm not shitting on Bitcoin because it's not a Bitcoin network problem. It's not a protocol problem.
Yep.
But you invited people into the fucking space. They bought Bitcoin and they're getting, hey man, it's gonna be okay, man. At least you got hot water.
At least you learned something from it. Like,
bro,
yeah, I get it.
Are you kidding me?
It's a learning experience.
Hey man, it's all good. It's we appreciate you being like the pizza guy giving 10,000, paying 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 pies of pizza from Papa John's. It helped us in the way we transact. And with this, you have done the same. It's helped us understand that we need to have more security or invest more money into security into our products. So thank you. You know what we'll do? We'll give you we'll send you a free cold storage. Don't worry about it.
Oh God.
Bro, what are we talking about? Do you understand? Like, I would throw a mic at somebody. The way I swear to God, Landy, I'm listening to these combos. I'm like, do you understand somebody just lost their entire net worth? And y'all are just like,
but that is well. Look, this is the same conversation, and here's the rock and a hard place for the conversation.
Don't worry, you'll make it back, Landy. You'll make it back.
It's the exchanges, like the most recent, like just the collapse of FTX, right? Versus here's a custodial exchange that was promoted by some of the biggest names and celebrities on the planet, and then you've got cold storage.
They're still getting money back. They're gonna get money back.
I know.
Like, come on. And FTX they invested into some great fucking companies.
They did actually.
Like if FTX
would have known.
Let me tell you something right now. If FTX never got if Sam Bankman-Fried never got caught, this FTX would have been tops.
The biggest player in the game. Yeah,
100%.
Absolutely.
Are we kidding? Look at what their investments were. It's crazy.
They would have been institutional custodians. They would have been doing all kinds of stuff.
Hey, don't worry. Landy, don't worry, though. These things happen. This too shall pass. God will never give you a challenge that you can't overcome.
Listening to me the other day, weren't you? But because I literally said, at the end of the day, though, give it a couple of weeks and no one's going to be talking about it because it'll just be something else. Right.
I think this is, I don't think okay, we didn't even talk about Saylor selling. Not that I cared. I didn't even care if
didn't really have an effect on the market, but yeah, no, he did. Yeah.
But hold on. Can I give a shout out to Saylor? I want to point something out. Saylor is good, bro. And this is why I'm telling you, you guys harping on Saylor, this, that, and the third. I got to respect this gangsterness, all right? So check this out. I'm thinking this is how it happened, but whatever. With all these problems happening right now, particularly this one, people getting drained, that's the story, right?
Yep.
So Sailor's like, fuck it, throw 1,600 Bitcoin in there, bro. Sell that shit.
You know, that is kind of
Nobody's
a shrewd
talking
move.
about it.
Yeah, nobody's talking about it. Yeah.
It's the perfect play. Yo, that's gangsterness, man. Throw that in there right quick. Throw it in. I've spoken to Sam Bankman-Fried. One question had him absolutely going berserk on me. I asked him, I said, so you didn't know your finances? You didn't have a CFO managing FTX? You didn't know your finances? You keep them da, 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 da. And I made like, I did that gesture and he flipped.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Look. Oh God. Cindy says you'll make it all back. LOL.
Yeah, you'll make it all back. Landy, hey, Landy's message to everybody who's got him
I did not say this.
Is, hey man, you'll make it all back.
I did that is not my message. I disavow that statement. I did not say that.
IHOP's hiring. You'll make it all back.
Oh no,
guys.
This is just salt now. You're just throwing salt.
No, I am. Landy's here.
I did not say any of that. Jesus. I was reading the chat.
Show. Landy's like, hey man.
I was reading the chat.
It's really bad. But they'll fix it up in the future.
Because people are trying
and you can always make it better.
Correlation. No.
You're a terrible person.
There is that.
You're a terrible person.
Oh shit. Sorry. Shout out to you, God.
He
But
said, God damn it, like he's never said it before.
Look, not like that. But my point to you, it's first time for everything. My point is that when people are trying to equate that for price action, and the reason why price has not appreciated,
he's drowning. He's drowning.
Yeah.
The puppet is drowning.
Where people have tried to equate that these are the reasons why. We've had far worse happen with far worse bad actors.
Landy, stop.
This is not the reason why price is not moving. Price, in fact, moved up today.
Landy.
What?
I love you, bro. No
you
Diddy.
Twisted what I said.
Hold on. No. Hold on.
I might be the triumph, the insult comic. Dog
you're stuttering. You usually don't stutter. You don't stutter, Landy. Okay, that's one thing you don't do.
I'm trying not to laugh because it's a serious conversation.
Because we could call it for what it is.
What?
You did an attaboy.
Oh, come on. No.
You did a don't worry, attaboy. You'll make it.
Jesus Christ.
These are things you need to go. You are essentially saying what others have said. Hey, this is what happens in crypto. You just got to keep going. Now, you know what I see? A lot. Either some of these people just leave and I don't know what the fuck they do. Or they become shitcoiners.
You're turning Chad against me here now. Even Chad is like,
Chad, you heard what he said. Chad, you heard him. He's like, man, listen, this shit happens.
All right, roast.
I'm out here for the people. I am out here for the people. I'm like, yo, man, this ain't right. Landy's like, hey, listen, man, you motherfucking test dummies.
I did not say anything to that effect. No,
guys, you heard this. You heard it.
No, I think that there is a nuanced conversation.
I don't even know what's safe in the crypto anymore. Honestly speaking, if people start, and I'm being dead serious right now, Landy. If people start leaving crypto or converting their Bitcoin or assets into fiat, I don't even really know what to say. Like I usually like. If you play back some of my fucking tapes, I'm like, why would you transact and why would you flip back to fiat? Why wouldn't you transact in Bitcoin or Ethereum, whatever it is? But now, if people decide to flip back to fiat, I can't. What can I really say? Hold on, there are wallets that are more secure. Like they're going. You know, right now the pushback is going to happen. People there are going to be a lot of upset people. They're already upset.
I agree 100%. And I also am, and I've said this before, cold storage and managing this yourself is not for everyone. It really isn't, because now you are taking on the risk and responsibility.
Should there be, let me ask you a question. Should there, because it's not your keys, not your crypto now again.
Yeah,
Because
that's
if
my
you have
point.
a company that takes on your Bitcoin and holds it for you,
They're a custodian. Yeah. That doesn't mean they're infallible either.
correct. So the only way about this, honestly, on some serious shit, the only way to go about this, and I can't believe I'm a vomit right now,
Mm.
is to go to JP Morgan.
Why
not-
did you, of all
I'm
of
not
them,
even
you
kidding.
pick Jamie?
Because a lot of people bank with Chase, regardless of what they say. People bank with Chase.
Well, this is where they are. This is going to be their pitch: is we'll custody the coins. You deposit them here. They're going to be FDIC insured. They'll rehypothecate them on the back end. They'll give you loans based on, this is the direction that the banks are moving in
That's it.
already. Regional banks and community banks are already doing this, by the way, David. You know this.
I know, but I'm saying like now we're gonna go from only the hardcore cypherpunk motherfuckers will say absolutely not, and even
agree.
them with
A lot of
everything
them
that,
capitulated already, David.
that's what I'm saying. So like they'll look at this entire situation and say, hold on, I have millions of dollars in Bitcoin. If AI has grown like this, I'm being dead serious now. I'm no sarcasm.
Yes, I know.
If AI is advancing like this, and there are hackers that are using AI, or nation states that are using AI to do this, like North Korea, right? I need to make sure that my shit is safe. I don't feel comfortable holding my own thing, so I probably have to go to JP. As much as I don't like it, I know that my shit is taken care of. But there's a downside to that also, right? Like there's so many downsides to whichever way you go, there's a downside.
Yes.
So
There's always a
it's just like,
caveat, no
fuck.
matter which way you go. But my point to you and
Oh
to
my
the
God.
audience and many others is there's always been those downsides.
Don't look at the comment.
Oh God.
Almost bursted.
Oh yeah, Chad. If I could remove you from chat, I would. I would. No, I love Chad. Chad's
No, I'm not.
Chad is a Chad.
I'm not talking about Chad.
Oh no, I've also read this as well. I read Cindy's comment as well. And then a few others.
It
in the
is. It's
background
sad.
here.
It is sad when you got to tell somebody it's the rite of passage, man.
It is, yeah. And we've all experienced it. Every single solitary one of us.
I remember when I got rugged for the first time. I remember staring at my wallet. And like that song came on. Everybody
in the arms.
hurts.
Oh, I thought you
Yeah,
were going
that
to say in
also.
the arms of an angel.
That also. All those songs came on.
At the same time, just in your head.
No, I'm telling you. Like I remember it was such an awful feeling. If I told you guys how much I got rugged for, like you guys, I stopped myself from saying something that
Yes.
TikTok would probably take me down for. But a lot of people would look at it and say, "Oh my lord, oh my lord."
I already know from what's available on chain, and I said, "Oh my lord."
Landy. Well, these are you know what? Look, I don't wish anything bad on Cold Card and stuff. Like that's not. This is not. This is. I just want to say, like, I'm not dancing on these motherfuckers right now. Like that's not what I'm doing. It's just that you had ample opportunity to make sure that this kind of situation doesn't happen. And if you knew about it, you should have took it a little bit more seriously. I'm not saying you didn't. All I'm saying is there's a bunch of people that are now out of Bitcoin. And somebody made a comment that you can't run such a light team, 5 people only. I think it was like 5 or 6 people a part of the company or some shit like that. You can't do that. Like, especially if you're holding that amount of Bitcoin, right? Or users are holding that amount of Bitcoin, there has to be a bigger team. So, but again, like, I don't want to blame people, because if people were pitched this product along with like a ledger and all this stuff, and it's out there, like, I don't want to blame the people, because they're like, okay, these are my choices for a cold wallet, and they go into it. So it's not, you can't blame people, no matter how much research you do. Look, how many restaurants are good, but they have a 3.9 rating, right? Because somebody didn't like them, right? It wasn't their cup of tea, right?
Mhm.
It's the same with here. You might not have particularly been fond of them. I'm not saying you were or weren't. I'm just saying in general. But some people found them to be really great. So again, it is another black eye for our industry, 100%, because it will be weaponized towards the
I
Clarity
agree.
Act and regulations, right? Like, this is the big problem. And I told you, Bidmart, them doing what they're doing, like not giving people their money. Again, this is what I'm reading online. These are clients of yours saying this, and notable clients. It's not just like some randoms. It's just notable clients saying these things. And I'm looking at this. I'm like, they're going to take this and use this towards saying this is why crypto is bad. Meanwhile, every other country is far and away ahead of us. And I don't care what anybody says, it's the truth. And especially, I had Andrew Gordon on here. I don't know if you watched it, but we were talking about taxes.
Mhm. Yeah.
And, you know, he's out there talking about, okay, Clarity Act, great, but then we need to figure out how we can actually have a real system here for retail. You know, you move to another country, you hold your crypto for a year, there's zero capital gains tax on it. You know, here
Yeah.
people
That's quickly
here we have,
changing in a lot of countries, though.
I'm just saying in general, like you
Yeah.
got in America, somebody classify, one department is classifying it as a property, the other one as a currency, the other one is a commodity. Which one is it? Like, guys, like, can you make it? Because if you say, like I say this all the time, if you say property, can I file a 1031 if I sell? Like,
Mm.
you understand where I'm coming from with this?
Yep.
1933 security laws don't work for this. Like, at some point you got to say, look, we got to update shit because we've evolved. So we need to make rules that actually allow people to operate here correctly. Because at the end of the day, I'll say this, Landy, because of the way the rules are set up, maybe some of these things are avoidable if the rules and regulations are just out there and everybody understands what the fuck they need to do. But when you don't know what the fuck is happening, more of these things happen, right? Like, think about it. More of these things are bound to happen.
I agree.
So-
But also, and I've told you this, over the years, I've felt very conflicted, right? It's an open market. Anyone can come into the market and buy, whether it's an individual or an institution. But there's a give and take. And there are things that we often talk about wanting to see, and it usually revolves around price, right?
Yeah.
It's drifted pretty far away from the ethos and the cypherpunk movement. I would argue a long time ago at this point, right?
Oh, yeah.
And we want
I
adoption.
think it drifted away when Bitcoin almost hit 20,000 in 16, 17. I think that's when it drifted away.
Well, yeah, because institutional players via various vectors were responsible for that parabolic run in 15, 16, 17 off the lows, right?
Yeah.
And
So-
and I think that a lot of in the conversation in crypto has revolved around, especially in the past few years, since the institutions got on board with, spot ETFs has been like, well, the institutions are here. They're coming. They were always coming, but now they're here. So obviously XYZ is going to happen. We're going to focus on building out solutions that hopefully they will buy us for, right? Or we can partner with them on these things. And then hopefully get buyed or sniped for talent and stuff like that. And a
Yeah.
lot of builders really shifted their focus towards the institutions because that's where the liquidity is, quite frankly. And um, it really, I've my views of things have evolved over time from the F the system to the we have to infiltrate the system to could the system absorb us and win? And that has been something that I've been mulling over for quite a long time, especially in the past, 18 months. Um, I haven't talked about it a lot because, there's I'm in conflict. I am a self custody guy for my private holdings, but when I do trade, I do try to avoid exchanges unless I'm just messing around. And I go through institutional custodians and OTC desks, which is still just another vector, right? But that has, um, a certain specific class of holders that are going to be utilizing their services. And, so it's like, I do really believe that we can find a happy medium, but the conversations are typically not focused about it. They're just about what is trendy in that particular moment without a comprehensive pitch for how to put it all together. All of that stuff is happening behind the scenes with institutions, not here. It's not happening here. You talk about people supporting projects all the time and coming together and uniting behind an ethos for like memes, right? And continuing to support builders and people out in communities and stuff like that, right? And often it just breaks out into tribalism no matter what. And who's really thinking about those comprehensive solutions? A lot of people that were thought leaders in that regard are going and actually working in tandem with with these institutions on creating solutions to hit a much wider audience, but in almost all cases, it's involving some sort of a productization of crypto, right? Or some sort of a service that solves the problems that the technical challenges for people. And it has had me thinking for quite some time that, you know what, this industry is going to drastically change. And I think that it's going to begin very soon when we do get the price structure that is bullish again. And people throw away everything to chase the green candles. A lot of the conversation will go away. You'll see institutions come in. You're going to see more RWAs and stock tokens getting liquidity that will have redemption of the underlying shares. You'll have a lot of volatility vector tokens essentially as well. And I think really the last bastion for the ethos of fighting against, or at least taking advantage of those narratives surrounding the institutions is going to be in the meme coin space. It's weird for me to be saying that. I think that you were right all along that that and then I've mentioned this since Robinhood launched. What did they start with? They courted meme coins right out the gate and NFTs right out the gate.
Yep.
And
Because you bring the culture in and then you sell your products.
exactly. And I think that is how they're going to backdoor really start to dominate the industry and change it, I think, forever.
Well,
Maybe I'm
Landy will
wrong.
be on. Landy will be on tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think we are launching the Gokshin.com website today.
Nice.
I've been it should have been last week, but I want to make sure everything's right. That's all. Going through, just making sure that nothing's buggy. I'd love to give you guys a fucking preview. Should I give a little preview on?
We got what, like 9 minutes? Let's check it out. I think we're over time, but let's check it out. Just a little
You can give
preview, a little taste.
Little preview. Let me see. Let me see. Little preview. Oh my god! Like, hold on a second. I want to. I'll give a little sneak. Fine, a little sneak. A little sneak. Because I've been talking about it the entire time, so people might be like, "Nah, he's not doing shit," right? Here's a little sneak peek of what we have coming, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, the Gokshin.com website will be out hopefully later today. That is the goal. You know, the cool. This is going from a magazine 10 years ago, whatever it was, 10 years. I'm thinking 10 years ago to this, and having a full-blown media company is pretty dope. And yes, we'll be reporting on everything: digital assets and politics, geopolitics, sports. It's everything.
Yep.
It's everything. So yeah, I'm excited. Like this is what, guys, I just want you to know, this is what I've been sitting, like when I'm off of this show. When I'm off this show, like this is what I'm doing. Whether I'm on a conference call, or I'm taking a call, or I'm trying to get a deal done, I'm still working. I'm working on this. And I want to give a shout out to everybody who's, I don't know who put this in play. It might have been Ron. Somebody put this in play and said, we should, like, because I came out here and I said, you know what? I'm working, like when I say I'm working on my own product, right? I'm working on my own business. I really mean that. Landy knows this. I'm working on my own business. And I say this like with all due respect. I hope everybody wins, but I'm being selfish. I've been selfish for 12 months now because I want to work on my thing for once. It's what I'm doing for one time in my life. Just, yes, I'll still like try to support as many people as possible, but this is where I am right now. And this is, you know, this is hard work. This is absolutely, well, you don't understand, like this is fucking me going to sleep at 4 o'clock in the morning type work. And this is not once. Landy's on the West Coast. He contacts me at 3 o'clock in the morning. Just like he's at 11, 12 p.m. out there, bro.
Yeah, you have been actually like pulling overnighters, which is wild.
And I'm just like, I'm just watching. And like, I think, I hope, like you guys have started supporting. You started supporting the Gokshin account on X, and I appreciate that. I see a lot of you guys are trying to be more supportive, and I really do. You know, as much as I go ahead and support you guys, I love to see that shit back, reciprocated. You don't have to, but I would love to see it. You come to my spaces, you come to my shows, you come to our shows, Landy's and Rob and Taylor. Got more people coming on. You come and see them. Well, support the goddamn network. That's what we'll ask. You don't know, you're supporting others, you don't even know them. We're reporting the same thing. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
So like, yeah, I can't wait to, you know, come out with this and finally flip the switch and obviously, we'll go ahead, and I'd love to bring in people that report on stuff, and there's more stuff coming. This is, again, I told you, a line of products are coming out. This is the main hub, right? But there's more stuff coming. Landy's seen it. There's more stuff coming.
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
And I just hope we got Gokhshtein PR for anybody who wants to listen. If you're a brand and you're struggling and you want to be pushed in the right direction, we're here. You got a product, you need it to be pushed correctly, built out correctly. We're here. GokhshteinPR.com. Go right there. The new site, you have no excuses. We report on everything. Break down everything on this new site. No excuses. And then we got something really. There are 3 things, but the next one coming out is really cool because I think it's necessary for us because it will allow us to speak the way we want to speak. That's really it. You know what? The fucking concept came after the fucking 19,000 fucking limited fucking restriction shit that came on TikTok and shit.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm excited, man. So shout out to me, bitches. Yeah, I have been working day and night on that motherfucker. And that, you know what it is? It's so hard because it's not that I didn't care about Gokhshtein PR. Of course I care about that. But this is home base, right? You want to make sure that the foundation, when it comes to home base, is absolutely, the foundation is built out strong.
Yep.
So appreciate you, obviously. Landy's he's had his takes. He stood here while we've restructured and rebranded, and the sky's the limit. That's really how I look at it.
I agree. And shout out to you, brother. You've been working your ass off. You really have. Like,
bro, I'm thankfully I'm not aging.
Yeah. As soon as you sit down, though, trust me, you're gonna feel it. As soon as you sit down to take a deep breath, you're gonna feel it. It's gonna hit you all at once.
It's just gonna be cool, man. Because I could have been bought out multiple times. I refused. I could have essentially. There was a deal. Still is a deal, but it wasn't to do something. But I don't want to do that because I want this, because the people get an actual voice. So,
yeah.
Anyway, catch Landy 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, breaking down or market update with Landy. Update you on the markets and see where the fucking markets are going. Put you you can front run the markets when you watch Landy. You can learn something. Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Taylor's not on today. She's sick. So 7 p.m. she won't be on. But at 8 p.m., Rob Nelson will be on. I don't know if Landy's going on, but if Landy is, they'll be talking about mostly politics. And I'm pretty sure that I destroyed Rob so bad last time that he'll be talking about either me or Iran. I can already figure out the topics. And yeah, on that note, me and Landy will say sayonara to you bitches. And I really do. I feel bad for anybody who lost Bitcoin, man. I really don't have anything to say. I don't want to say, well, don't worry, keep moving forward kind of thing. I hope something happens to where you get something back. That's kind of what I pray for, but I don't even know if that happens. But we need the industry to rally together now and figure out how to fix these things, because if we don't, people are not going to come in here and feel safe buying physical Bitcoin. They'll go right to their brokers and get that shit kind of done. So,
yep.
On that, Landy, have a great one. I'll speak to you later. And as Akil Patterson would say, have a great day and an even better tomorrow. Bye. How do I go bye? Bye. How do I go bye? Bye.